Steve Martin grew up in Waco, Texas, and later moved to California. His family was not particularly involved in the arts, but he found his love for performance early on. He sold guidebooks at Disneyland as a teenager and performed magic tricks, which sparked his interest in show business. Martin's early jobs at the theme park and local magic shops exposed him to the world of entertainment and comedy. He admired comedians like Laurel and Hardy, and his college studies in philosophy influenced his unique comedic style. Martin did not have a single mentor, but learned from various entertainers he met throughout his early career. These experiences shaped his path to becoming a writer and performer. Steve Martin, a writer known for his humor and wit, has created works that have brought laughter and joy to many. From his early days as a stand-up comedian to his successful career in film and literature, his talent has made a lasting impression. Think back to the first time you saw Steve Martin's work. Was it a film, a comedy routine, or perhaps one of his books? What memories do you hold dear from that experience? We invite you to share your most treasured memory or personal experience related to Steve Martin. Your stories and recollections are valuable to us, so please share them in the comments. As we continue, expect to discover many surprising, amusing, and even poignant facts about Steve Martin. Stay tuned for these revelations that showcase the breadth of his career and the joy he has brought to audiences worldwide. Steve Martin found his love for performance as a young man working at Disneyland. At just 10 years old, he sold guidebooks on weekends and during summer break. By the age of 15, he was performing magic tricks at the magic shop in Disneyland. This job taught him about timing comedy and how to hold an audience's attention. His time at the magic shop, combined with his love for the magic of live performance, sparked his desire to become an entertainer. It was a simple job at a theme park that set him on the path to becoming a celebrated writer and performer. Steve Martin was born on August 14, 1945 in Waco, Texas. He grew up in Inglewood and later Garden Grove, California. His family was not wealthy, and his father had a job at a department store. Martin became interested in magic and comedy at a young age, working at Disneyland selling guidebooks and performing magic tricks. This early job sparked his interest in performance. He attended college studying philosophy and theater, but he left before graduating to pursue a career in comedy. His early work as a writer for the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour and as a frequent guest on The Tonight Show helped him develop his unique style of comedy, which led to a successful career as a stand-up comedian, actor, and writer. Steve Martin, the writer, faced tough times when he started. He had little money, and people in the entertainment business did not believe in him. But he did not give up. He used his humor and intelligence to write new kinds of comedy. This made people notice him. He also played the banjo and did magic tricks to make his shows different. His hard work paid off, and he became a famous comedian and actor. He showed that even when things are hard, you can find new ways to solve problems and reach your goals. Steve Martin, known for his comedy, took on the role of Navin in the movie The Jerk. He worked with Carl Gottlieb and Michael Elias to write a script that aimed to make people laugh with every page. In another instance, when there was a discussion about who should co-anchor the weekend update on Saturday Night Live, Lorne Michaels thought of Laura Keitlinger. However, Norm Macdonald wanted to do it alone. Steve Martin stepped in and helped make the decision that Macdonald would be the sole anchor. On a personal note, Steve Martin and Bernadette Peters shared a close relationship. They were together in real life and starred in several movies during the 1970s and 1980s. Their partnership extended beyond the screen as they were once engaged to be married. Steve Martin's career saw a major turn with his work on the television show Saturday Night Live. His unique style of comedy won him an Emmy Award and made him a household name. Another significant moment was his first film, The Jerk, which he also co-wrote. This movie was a huge success and showed his skill in both writing and acting. His peers and critics praised his ability to connect with audiences through humor. His collaborators often speak about his creative approach and how he brings fresh ideas to his projects. These achievements helped shape his career and influence the field of comedy. Steve Martin's role as Navin in The Jerk caught the attention of Stanley Kubrick, a well-known director. Kubrick enjoyed the movie so much that he would quote its lines during his own film productions. He He even invited Martin to play chess, showing his appreciation for Martin's work. The Jerk was inspired by a joke from Martin's stand-up comedy, where he humorously said he was born a poor black child and decided to become white after listening to a Mantovani record. This joke was part of Martin's first comedy album. In addition to his talents, Martin has a diverse heritage, including English, Scottish, Irish, Scots, Irish, Northern Irish, and German roots. This background contributes to his unique perspective in his work in comedy. Steve Martin, a writer known for his humor, brings a unique perspective to his work by blending wit with observation. His writing often reflects his own experiences and the way he sees the world. He has a talent for finding the funny in everyday situations and turning it into something special that others can enjoy. His style is direct and engaging, making his stories and characters relatable. Steve Martin's work shows us that humor can be found in the most ordinary places, and he invites readers to see the world through his eyes. His personal journey, from performing stand-up comedy to writing, has shaped his voice, making it distinctive and approachable. His work is a reflection of his belief that life is full of surprises, and laughter is a key part of it. Steve Martin's creative journey shows his range as an artist. His play The Underpants was brought to life on stage in 2005, directed by Brian Barney at Bruca Theater in Reno. In the film The Jerk, Martin played the character Navin, and shared that director Carl Reiner created a happy atmosphere on set, with everyone sharing meals daily. His role as Orin Scrivello DDS in Little Shop of Horrors took 6 weeks to shoot, during which he added his own touch to the character, like the moment he hits the nurse instead of using his gas mask as initially planned, and the scene where he tears off a doll's head. Steve Martin, the writer, has had a significant role in shaping comedy and film. His work is known for its original humor and ability to connect with a wide audience. He brought a new style of comedy that was smart yet accessible, influencing many comedians and writers who followed. Experts in the field often cite his unique blend of wit and slapstick as a major influence on modern comedy. His scripts and performances have inspired a generation of comedians to explore a range of comedic styles. His peers respect him for his clever wordplay and memorable characters, which have become a staple in the comedy genre. Martin's writing is not just funny, it often carries a deeper message that resonates with people, making them think as well as laugh. This combination of humor and substance has set a standard for others in the industry. Steve Martin brought to life the character of Orin Scrivello, a dentist in Little Shop of Horrors. His work connected him with other actors through various films. For example, he worked with John Candy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, shared the screen with Bill Murray and Rick Moranis in Ghostbusters, and again with Moranis in My Blue Heaven. Candy and Moranis also appeared together in Brewster's Millions and Spaceballs. In Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, Martin played Dr. Maxwell Edison. That same year, his comedy album A Wild and Crazy Guy climbed the charts, showing his success in both film and music. In The Jerk, Martin was Navin and wrote the role of Marie with Bernadette Peters in mind, showcasing his talent in writing and acting. These roles highlight his career in comedy and cinema, connecting him with notable actors and contributing to his lasting presence in entertainment. Steve Martin, the writer, has a life rich with interests that shape his work. He loves art and is an avid collector, which shows in his writing through vivid descriptions and attention to detail. His love for music, especially the banjo, often leads him to infuse his narratives with rhythm and soul. Martin is also known for his love of magic, a skill he sometimes uses to entertain friends and family. His personal values are evident in his commitment to education and the arts. He has donated significant amounts to support arts programs and scholarships for students. Martin's passion for sharing knowledge and encouraging creativity is a cornerstone of his life, influencing not only his philanthropic choices, but also the themes and characters in his writing. He believes in giving back and supporting the community, which is why he is involved in various charitable activities, especially those that promote the arts and education. His work and personal life are closely intertwined, reflecting his belief in the power of creativity and learning. Steve Martin, a celebrated comedian and writer, welcomed a daughter with Anne Springfield in December 2012. His humor, which has entertained audiences for decades, earned him the 6th spot on Comedy Central's list of the 100 greatest stand-ups of all time. Despite his onstage persona as a wild and crazy guy, Steve Martin is known to be shy and reserved offstage, showing a contrast between the performer and the person. Steve Martin, known for his writing and comedy, has influenced many by showing that humor can be smart and entertaining. He has written plays, books, and movies, sharing stories that make people laugh and think. For the future, he aims to keep creating work that brings joy and sparks creativity in others. His advice for new writers is to be true to their own style, write regularly, and read widely. He believes that writing is a craft that gets better with practice and learning from others. He encourages aspiring writers to keep working on their craft, find their unique voice, and not be afraid to share their work with the world. Steve Martin faced a tough time during the mid-1990s. He was offered the role of the Riddler in Batman Forever, but declined due to personal sorrows, including the loss of his friend John Candy and his own divorce. Despite these challenges, he delivered a memorable performance as Neil Page in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. The film was later celebrated by Roger Ebert, who regretfully acknowledged that John Candy would never read his praise. Additionally, Martin was in the running for A Pardon My Girl, but his commitment to Father of the Bride meant the role went to Dan Aykroyd instead. These moments highlight the ups and downs of his career during that period. Steve Martin's career is a story of a person driven by a deep love for the art of storytelling and making people laugh. From his early days as a writer for television shows to becoming a beloved comedian and actor, his journey has been marked by a constant search for new ways to entertain and inspire. His work has brought joy to countless audiences and has shown that with enough determination and original thinking, anyone can leave a lasting print on the world. Steve Martin's life reminds us that creativity and sticking to it, even when it's hard, can lead to wonderful places, and that laughter truly is a gift that keeps on giving. Steve Martin stepped into the film world with a bang, playing Navin in The Jerk. This was the start of a successful partnership with director Carl Reiner, leading to 3 more films: All of Me, The Man with Two Brains, and Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. On the set of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Steve Martin formed a lasting friendship with co-star Michael Caine. His charm and wit on television also shone through, as he joined Tina Fey in the rare achievement of hosting a season opener, a season finale, and a Christmas special on Saturday Night Live. Steve Martin made history by hosting SNL 3 times in a single season, showing his unique connection with the audience. Steve Martin, known for his comedic roles, played the part of Warren Scrivello, a dentist in Little Shop of Horrors. In his office, there's a small tribute to his mother, featuring a photo that looks like actor Henry Jones. In Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Martin's character, Neil Page, competes in a race against Kevin Bacon, echoing a similar scene from Bacon's film Quicksilver. Additionally, a humorous moment occurs when Neil's dessert is accidentally covered by another passenger's hair, leading to an unexpected exchange between Neil and his travel companion Dell. Steve Martin, a well-known writer and actor, had a significant turning point in his life during the late 1960s. He shared with Terry Gross on Fresh Air that he used to smoke marijuana quite often until a panic attack during the producers made him quit for good. He feels this experience kept him away from the severe drug problems that affected many others in his field. In the movie The Spanish Prisoner, his character Jimmy Dell gave a clue about his true identity when he asked Joe Ross to bring the process to a meeting, a term only used internally at the company. In his personal life, Steve Martin once dated the actress Mary Tyler Moore. Steve Martin showed his talent early on in the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour, sharing an Emmy win with Bob Einstein and Rob Reiner for their excellent writing. His character, Officer Judy, became a memorable part of the show. In The Jerk, Martin brought his unique humor to the big screen, playing Navin and incorporating parts of his stand-up routine into the film. One memorable scene has him leaving a room claiming he needs nothing, yet he picks up items one by one. Later in life, at 67, Martin experienced fatherhood for the first time, adding a new role to his life beyond his career in entertainment. Steve Martin brought his unique humor to the role of Freddie Benson in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, where he and Michael Caine improvised many scenes, including the movie's ending. In The Jerk, Martin played Navin and worked with Bernadette Peters, which was the first of 2 movies they did together, followed by Pennies from Heaven. Despite what some may think, Steve Martin was not a regular cast member on Saturday Night Live. However, he hosted the show 15 times and made surprise visits. In the early days of Saturday Night Live, Jim Henson's Muppets were a regular feature, presenting a segment called The Land of Gorch. This was a world filled with creatures that were very different from the friendly faces on Sesame Street. The Muppets here were meant to be strange and not cute. However, the SNL team did not enjoy working with these Muppets. The actors felt the Muppets took away their screen time, and the writers found writing for them uninteresting. The Muppet performers also did not like the comedy that the SNL writers provided. There was a clear difference in age and lifestyle between the Muppet crew and the SNL writers. By the end of the season, it was evident that this partnership was not successful. Lorne Michaels, the producer, did not want to end it, but did not know how to resolve the situation. Luckily, Jim Henson started The Muppet Show with IDV, which allowed Michaels to end the segment without much trouble. Steve Martin, who hosted SNL many times, and Gilda Radner, who was managed by the same company as Martin, both appeared on The Muppet Show later. The unique and darker Muppets from the Land of Gorch influenced Jim Henson's later work, especially the film The Dark Crystal. Steve Martin also wrote a children's book titled The Alphabet from A to Y with bonus letter Z, which was published in 1927. It's a book that takes young readers through the alphabet in a fun and creative way. In the movie The Jerk, Steve Martin played the character Navin. His favorite moment in the film is a scene where M. Emmett Walsh's character shoots at some cans while Navin is working at a gas station. This scene is well liked because it is funny and shows Navin's innocent and naive nature. Steve Martin, known for his comedic roles, played George Banks in Father of the Bride, where he humorously fretted about wedding costs leading to his ruin. This mirrored his earlier role as Navin Johnson in The Jerk, where he ends up in a similar state. While Martin brought George Banks to life, Charles Grodin was also considered for the part, but chose to act in Beethoven. In a twist, Martin turned down a role in Beethoven to work on Hausetter. Both actors had worked together before in The Lonely Guy. Adding to the connection, Sarah Rose Carr, who portrayed Annie at age 7 in Father of the Bride, played Grodin's daughter in the Beethoven series. The Jerk also marked the start of Martin's journey as a producer, showcasing his talent behind the camera as well as in front. Steve Martin's role as Navin Johnson in The Jerk earned him a spot among the greatest movie characters ever, according to Premiere Magazine. His portrayal was so memorable that director Stanley Kubrick even considered him for a role in what would become Eyes Wide Shut. In Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Martin played Neil Page, and the house set for his character was an expensive and elaborate build that took 5 months and cost a hefty sum, leading to disputes with the movie studio. Steve Martin brought laughter to many as Navin in The Jerk, where he played a man who grew up poor and later found out he was adopted. His journey from nothing to wealth and back again was a central theme of the film. In Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Martin portrayed Neil Page, a man desperate to get home for Thanksgiving. The script was unusually long for a comedy, and when Martin asked about cutting it down, director John Hughes indicated there would be no cuts. Martin's love for British TV comedies shaped his own approach to humor, influencing his performances and writing style. Steve Martin's unique business card offers a humorous touch, promising that meeting him is an enjoyable experience. His role as Bowfinger showcased his comedic talent alongside Eddie Murphy, who eagerly joined the project as a fan of Martin. The collaboration was seamless, with Murphy suggesting his character be a successful black actor, which Martin found amusingly fitting. In 1922, Martin expanded his creative work with the release of The Underpants, a play by Carl Sternheim, adding playwright to his list of achievements. This book reflects his ability to explore different forms of storytelling, always with a touch of his distinctive humor. Steve Martin, known for his sharp humor and unique presence on screen, shares something special with his friends Lorne Michaels, Paul Simon, and Mike Nichols. They all had their portraits done by artist Eric Fischel. In a nod to pop culture, Martin once performed a humorous take on Michael Jackson's Billie Jean during an appearance on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. His versatility shines through in his roles like the memorable Orin Scrivello DDS in Little Shop of Horrors. Interestingly, despite teaming up with John Candy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles the following year, where they were almost always together on screen, they never crossed paths in Little Shop of Horrors. Steve Martin, known for his comedy and acting, played the character Bowfinger in the movie Bowfinger. In the film, you can see a poster titled The Hugo Story behind his desk, which is a nod to another one of his movies, Ella's Story. In The Jerk, Steve Martin brought to life the character Navin Johnson, a role that was so loved by audiences that it was voted number 99 in the 100 greatest performances of all time by readers of Premiere magazine. Another memorable character he portrayed was Orin Scrivello, a dentist in Little Shop of Horrors. This movie is special because it is the only one where Steve Martin and Bill Murray have worked together. Steve Martin, recognized for his talent early on by his peers at Garden Grove High School, brought a unique presence to the screen. In Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, he played Neil Page, a man in a rush to get home who ends up in a frantic race against Kevin Bacon for a taxi. This scene sets the tone for Neil's series of travel mishaps, including a call home to his wife explaining yet another delay, with a clever nod to another John Hughes film playing in the background. In The Jerk, Martin took on the role of Navin, a character far removed from his real-life sophistication, alongside Bernadette Peters, with whom he shared more than just on-screen chemistry at the time. Their off-screen relationship added a layer of authenticity to their performances, making their characters' connection all the more believable. Steve Martin, known for his sharp humor, played Neil Page in the film Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. His decision to join the cast was influenced by two particular scenes that stood out to him, one involving a humorous car seat adjustment, and another featuring a memorable outburst at a car rental agency. In the same film, Bill Irwin, who shared a scene with Martin as the man dozing on his shoulder, was also part of other John Hughes movies like Home Alone, and She's Having a Baby. In recognition of his contributions to comedy, Steve Martin was honored with a Mark Twain Prize for American Humor by the Kennedy Center in 2005. A significant achievement reflecting his talent in bringing laughter to audiences. Steve Martin's early interest in philosophy played a big role in shaping his comedy. His stand-up acts in the 1970s were filled with clever jokes and observations that came from this background. In the film Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, he played Freddie Benson, a role that was quite a turn from its original casting ideas. The movie was first meant for Mick Jagger and David Bowie, inspired by their successful music video. However, when they left the project, Steve Martin and Michael Caine took over, bringing their own style to the film. When choosing roles, Steve Martin looks for a good script. If he likes the script, he takes the role. If not, he passes. This simple approach has led him to be part of many memorable films. Steve Martin, known for his roles as a father in films, did not have a child during the height of his career. He became a father at 67 when his daughter was born in 2012. In 2007, at his wedding to Anne Stringfield, Lorne Michaels, the creator of Saturday Night Live, stood by him as his best man. In the film Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Martin, playing Neil Page, was genuinely surprised on camera when his co-actor wiped spit on his hand before a handshake. This real reaction was captured thanks to director John Hughes' unique approach to filming. Steve Martin has been a bright star in the world of writing and entertainment. His work has brought laughter and joy to many. We invite you to share your favorite moments and how his stories have touched your life in the comments below. If you enjoy celebrating talented creators like Steve Martin, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that honors the artistic spirits in entertainment. Your participation helps keep the conversation going and the memories alive. Thank you for your support.